Hello, my beautiful crafty friends. How is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. You guys, I'm excited to bring this project to you today because this is the first time I've ever worked with air dry clay or clay even in general. I picked up that huge tub of air dry clay from Walmart. It was like $6. Picked up those clay tools from the Dollar Tree, and then I had the little cloche from the Dollar Tree. We are making little air dry clay ghosties for our little cloche, and I actually put lights in it and everything. It turned out super cute. But I have been watching a new DIYer here on YouTube. Her name is Angel Nicole, and I have got to be honest with you, I'm absolutely obsessed with her DIYs, and she uses so much air dry clay, and it'll change any kind of project. It just elevates it to a whole new level. So she uses a lot of like silicone molds and everything like that, molds, not modes, but and she's kind of walks you through how to work with it. And it's just, I don't know, I was having a lot of fun making these little ghosties, and as soon as they dry, they'll be forever, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and wet my fingers and try to get those pleats at the bottom of the ghost. It's really wasn't that easy to work with there at first to try to get the shape that I wanted to go for. I was going to fit two ghosties in this cloche. I kind of wanted a mama and a baby, but like I said, at first it was kind of hard just to get my footing on how I wanted them shaped and all that good stuff. But once I got it, I kind of like rolled it back and forth in my hands, rolled it on the little mat. These little silicone mats are actually from Temu. And then I got my fingers wet, and then I'd smooth them out and try to get any fingerprints out, all that good stuff. And then just try to make those pleats with wet fingers. The more you play with it, the better it turns out, to be honest with you. And they turned out super cute. So I'm just going back and forth in my hands, warming it up, getting it all set. Sorry, I didn't have a better angle here. Getting my little fingers wet, smoothing out the clay, and then I let it set overnight. And to be honest with you, they were still a little, I would say, I wouldn't say mushy. They weren't fully cured yet, even after 24 hours, which was concerning to me. I think it's just because it's all clay. You know what I mean? It's such a thick ball of clay. But what I did is I took my finger and I pinched them together and I just ran it down the ghosties, and then that clay would move with the water on my fingers, and it kind of made like a pleat at the bottom. I need them to be nice and skinny, not too plump, because they need to sit inside the cloche. And here I'm using my Dollar Tree tools. I'm going to poke their eyes out. That doesn't sound very good. But I thought that the indents of their eyes would work out better if I used that little tool. And it was kind of like a star tool. So it bit me in the butt at the end, but it is what it is. Here I think I was trying to paint them super, super fast for you. I'm just using Waverly chalk paint and white. That's it. It's a white. It's a ghost, obviously. And I'm going to give them two good coats on the top of their heads and all that, trying to hide the brush strokes, because for some reason I felt like the clay was picking up the brush strokes, or it might have been my fingers. But I'm going to give them two really good coats, let the first coat dry, then give them the second coat. And after I'm done painting them, they're all looking good, nice and white. I pull out some fairy lights that I got from Amazon, and I untwist them, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool if it would glow through the Spanish moss at the bottom. And I know that these wires are pretty long, so I would have to wind it up at the bottom of the cloche. And that's exactly what I did. So I took a little a dab of hot glue, got it started at the bottom of the cloche, and in a circle I just went round and around and around. Maybe if I can get myself together here. There we go. Adding some little bit of hot glue as I go. I've noticed with these lights, they do keep their shape because they are a wire, but here and there you do have to tack them down where you want them or they'll pop up. So I'm just going to go round and around and around in the cloche. I'm going to add a little hot glue as I go. And with the power of editing, we got our lights laid. So I'm going to bring out some black chalk paint. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go in those holes and just put black chalk paint in those holes. But it was actually, like I said, a bad idea. Bit me in the behind. My brush either wasn't small enough to get into that hole, or whatever the case. It made their eyes like drag paint. So I was like, I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll clean it up with some white paint. I'm gonna grab some Spanish moss from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna go ahead and get my glue gun and just put it right there on top of those lights, putting a thin layer of Spanish moss so you can still see the lights, but it like hides the workings, obviously. And then I'm gonna get my white paint back out and just cover up any little mess that I made. And I tell you, I had to go over that a couple of times because the paint wasn't dry. Because I put a glob of black paint in that hole, each time I take my white brush, it would smear it some more. I'm telling you what, it was a frustration from all get out. Next time I won't poke a hole, I'll just put some black dots on it. So I also pulled out, you see those little orange pumpkins? I pulled out a potpourri from the Dollar Tree, and those are tiny little pumpkins come in there, and I thought that'd be perfect. I also pulled out some sandstone, and I tried to give them a little bit more shadowing and dimension, and it looks okay after I added a little bit of black to it and then smeared it back out with some sandstone. I took a fan brush and just ran it across there, trying to just like bring out those pleats that I put in there. It looks a hot mess, but then I take that sandstone back over it and it leaves some of those lines, and it actually didn't turn out too bad. So if you want to give it a go, I'm sure you have shading and lighting techniques that are a lot better than mine, but I don't know. See, like I painted it back over that sandstone and it just kind of blended it in and it looked pretty good. So I like the way that it turned out. Hopefully y'all do too. But like I said, it's the first time I ever worked with clay. I'm going to use hot glue and I'm going to glue them down. The one good thing about them not being completely dry is I was able to mush them together in the cloche so that the lid would still close and they would fit in there perfectly. So I put my pumpkins, 2 on one side, a pumpkin on the other. It turned out super duper cute just like that. However, I did want to add some creepy stems. And I think I added a couple of spiders as well. I'm going to go ahead and glue my battery pack at the bottom of the cloche. And I'm thinking I'm grabbing some branches right now. I don't know why I left all this in, to be honest with y'all. I'm still new at this editing. Y'all gotta forgive me. Yes, okay, so grab the creepy branches. I'm gonna grab some that will fit in there with that cloche with the lid on. Grab some hot glue, and I'm just gonna hot glue them in there. I wanted some kind of spread out through all out. And then the spider rings from Walmart, I grabbed some of those as well. I'm gonna put some spiders in there, make it all nice and creepy. And make sure that all my Spanish moss is cleaned up around the edges. Oh, they're actually really cute, you guys. When they're all lit up at night, they're super cute. For some reason, my clay glows didn't want to sit down on that hot glue, and I thought, what the heck is going on? They keep lifting up. But here I am adding the spiders. I'm going to add one to the pumpkins, and then I'm going to add one to some black floral wire from the Dollar Tree. And I just take my hot glue gun and burn a hole at the top of the cloche, and it went right through there, y'all. And then I took that black wire and strung it through there, and I wanted a spider to be hanging, but I was kind of over this project at that point. But I did. I took the black wire and I wrapped it or glued it onto my spider, glued them one on each side of the wire so that it would pinch the wire in between them. But you got to be able to get your spiders up in the cloche and work with it. Like I said, it was a hot mess. If I would have thought about it, I probably would have done some other method because it would have been super cute. But in the end product, if I was to go look at it right now, you can see the spider hanging. He's just looking like he's glued to the cloche though. Yeah, so if you have a different way, maybe fishing wire would be good. I don't know. So I'm going to glue those wires, like I said, in between the spiders. Make a knot big enough on top so that he doesn't fall through. And I'm like, the concept's there. Then I had those fabric black roses that I hid the wire with, and here we go. Here they are, all spooktastic. And look, you can see the spider on there, but it's not like all that, like I said. And with everything turned on, my little shelves look so great, you guys. My little moo cow, I'll show that project to you coming up soon. There's the family, this family's baddie, and there's my cloche ghost. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.